This is Visual Rhetoric. I want to linger over these last couple of examples. The first is ready.gov. It was a website launched soon after the 9/11 terrorist attacks by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, who partnered with Reuther Finn, an international award-winning advertising agency. The purpose of the website was to help prepare American individuals, families, organizations, and companies for potential terrorist threats. And on the website, users could find information about, for instance, biological threats. On this page, users were warned, if you become aware of an unusual or suspicious release of an unknown substance nearby, it doesn't hurt to protect yourself. Get away from the substance as quickly as possible. Cover your mouth and nose with layers of fabric that can filter the air but still allow breathing. At the top of the site, we see the Homeland Security seal, Ready America. We see an ethnically and somewhat gender ambiguous individual, the side of their face, eyes looking forward, chin somewhat up, flag, sun-dappled, waving. Not surprisingly, soon after, a parody site launched. We see ready.gov helping America prepare for fiery death. Rather than the image of the steadfast person, we see an image of a small child anxiously chewing on his fingers. If we go further down the page, we see be informed, biological threat. Don't get so preoccupied with biological weapons that you forget to put on deodorant. If a friend or coworker forgets to put on deodorant, offer him or her a clean shirt and cover your mouth and nose with 3 layers of duct tape. Always remember to wash your hands before using the phone. I love these examples because first, they reveal how intimately connected visual and verbal content is. If you take these images and you excise the verbal content, they can change meaning entirely. Second, they show the complexity of creating new warnings for new threats. Most of us recognize the radioactive hazard image. It's something we've grown up with, we've always seen. We recognize that we know what it means. But in an era of new threats, we need new warnings, and it's incredibly difficult to craft new visual and verbal warnings and signs and acclimate and enculturate people to these signs. And third, this serves as an absolutely brilliant example of well-crafted parody. Here we have Dorothea Lange's Migrant Mother, a 1936 Dust Bowl photograph nicknamed the Depression Madonna. This photograph is an emblem of hardship and universal suffering. If we dig a little bit deeper and we look at the full gallery of photos that Lange took that day, there was a father present. He was deliberately removed from the shot. Lange did not want the father in the shot. She wanted him removed specifically to create an image, an icon of a fragile, solitary woman. The 2 children with their heads tucked behind their mother's shoulder were specifically posed that way. They were laughing and playing, and Lange couldn't get them to settle down and felt that their boisterousness was distracting from the ethos that she wanted to create. The baby was settled into the crook of the woman's arm, and the mother's right hand was posed in that gesture of heavy ponderance and looking outward toward the horizon. Does this change the way we approach and understand the photograph? Perhaps, perhaps not, but understanding the context of that day and the ways in which Lange posed the family does shape part of the meaning we extract from the photo itself. This image is from a catalog that I received a few years back. The catalog was for dolls, doll making parts, and doll accessories. It is not difficult to notice that the native mother and children are naked, no accessories, no clothes, on a fur rug. The white children are seated on a love seat, wearing glasses, wearing clothes, shoes, holding books. This represents a very racist and racialized representation, obviously. Brawny Man has been the trade character of Brawny paper towels since the early 1970s. He had a light makeover in the late 1970s, but went unchanged until the early 2000s when Brawny partnered with an ad agency and created an interactive app on their website to build your dream Brawny Man. From the thousands of dreamy Brawny Men created on the site, the company rendered a new Brawny Man, more Ben Affleck than Tom Selleck, and coined the phrase with a new, softer side.
Oh, hey. You look beautiful. Did you get your hair cut? You did, didn't you? It's so you. It's perfect. Come in. Come in. Don't mind this. I was just building a rocking horse for the kids down at the school. Can I get you something to drink? All right. I gotta get that faucet fixed. Look, I'm all wet now. There you go. What's that? You're too funny. Oh. I wrote a poem about your haircut. Would you like to? No. I'm too embarrassed. No. No. Okay. Here it is. Your hair, like an angel's, turning heads of strangers, falling like a river on your cheek. I don't have the last line yet, but you can see where it's going.
And then there's this, with which we are so familiar. Ellen Cushman and others, Stephen Bernhardt, for instance, does a beautiful job talking about these design principles. Ellen specifically refers to this as the tyranny of the alphabetic, where textual information becomes the dominant and, in fact, default mode of representation, where we hit a point in our intellect, in our training, in our careers, in our movements, where textual information is the only and of course the privileged mode of communicating knowledge, and the rules of design are de facto, they are prescribed, and they are set. And this is visual rhetoric.